Look at that television. Yeah, the one sitting in your living room right now, the one you probably think is currently turned off. Just take a second and really picture it. In this explainer, we're going to look at a documented reality about that exact device, and we're going to rely strictly on the facts from the largest intelligence leak in the entire history of the CIA. You might know it as Vault 7.
So, back in 2014, the CIA and British intelligence, MI5, co-developed a tool called Weeping Angel. Its entire purpose? To put Samsung smart TVs into what they officially called fake off mode. The screen goes completely dark. That little standby light turns off. To you, the owner, it looks completely powered down. But here's the catch. The microphone stays active. Everything said in that room is recorded and uploaded directly to a covert CIA server. And I need to be absolutely clear right at the start here. This is not some conspiracy theory. This is a documented historical fact. In March of 2017, the actual blueprints for Weeping Angel, along with 8,761 other highly classified documents, were published openly on the internet for anyone on Earth to download. It was a staggering breach. I mean, US prosecutors literally referred to it as a digital Pearl Harbor.
Okay, let's dive into this. The Arsenal, the CIA's Center for Cyber Intelligence, actually built over 1,000 distinct hacking implants. But today, we're just going to look at 5 specific ones.
So the first, as we mentioned, is Weeping Angel. Fun fact, the name actually comes from the TV show Doctor Who. It refers to a monster that only moves when you aren't looking at it, which is pretty fitting, right? At the time these documents leaked, installing Weeping Angel originally required a CIA operative to have physical access to your TV. But because the engineering notes, the exact architecture and code structure were published in 2017, the technical barrier just dropped dramatically. Today, open-source descendants of this exact tool exist, and they no longer require a highly trained operative in your living room.
And this brilliantly illustrates the core deception. To you, it's just a mundane black screen, a completely normal powered-down TV. But beneath that glass is a hyper-advanced government-grade threat operating silently. Now, if the idea of a tool requiring physical access makes you feel, a little bit safe, well, let's move on to the next tool. Because tool number 2 didn't need to physically touch your device at all.
Tool 2 is called HighRise. This was an Android application disguised inside an innocent-looking app called Tide Check. Once it was on your phone, HighRise just ran silently in the background. It didn't block your text messages, you still got them normally, you replied normally, the whole shebang. But every single SMS message, incoming and outgoing, was being simultaneously proxied to a CIA listening post server. They were reading every text in real time while you suspected absolutely nothing.
Now, the human element behind this highly sophisticated interceptor is fascinating. The activation password for HighRise, the exact word a CIA operative had to type to unlock one of the world's most advanced SMS interception tools, was simply Inshallah. That's Arabic for God willing. That password, along with the entire architecture, is now totally public. But, HighRise still required you to actually send or receive a message. The next tool didn't require you to do anything at all.
Tool 3 is known as Assassin. Assassin was a Windows implant with a very specific design goal written right into its documentation: monitor our target computer for extended periods of time without detection. We aren't just talking about days here, we are talking about months of absolute silence. It ran as a normal-looking background Windows service, periodically phoning home with updates to a remote operator.
Your system appears totally normal. Your standard antivirus software is running, scanning, and giving you that nice, reassuring green check mark. But operating right under the radar is a stealth CIA implant. The absolutely crucial point here is that Assassin could literally be running on your computer right now and your system wouldn't even flag it. But this naturally raises a massive question. How did the CIA manage to get these invisible tools onto devices in the first place? Well, they had an entire toolkit dedicated just to that.
But before they delivered the payload, they had to cover their tracks. Let's look at Tool 4, Marble Framework. Now this is arguably the most dangerous tool in the entire Vault 7 leak. Marble Framework was not malware itself. It was an obfuscation tool, essentially a false flag generator. Its whole purpose was to disguise CIA malware to make it look like it was created by Russia, China, Iran, or Arabic-speaking hackers. By inserting foreign language strings, like Cyrillic or Chinese characters, into the code, it made cyber attack attribution incredibly difficult. If you can't tell the difference between actual foreign malware and CIA malware, knowing who hacked you becomes nearly impossible.
But again, to get these tools onto your device, they needed a delivery mechanism. Enter Tool 5, Fine Dining. Fine Dining was a toolkit consisting of 24 decoy applications. We're talking about incredibly normal programs: a PDF viewer, a video player, a VPN client, things a user would intentionally and willingly download. And this brilliantly illustrates how fine dining relied entirely on human behavior. rather than just hacking code.
You open a perfectly functional, legitimate-looking PDF viewer. You read a document, and it works flawlessly. No red flags at all. But in the background, the actual CIA payload is silently installing itself onto your system while that decoy app is running. This decoy principle is exactly what's embedded in virtually all consumer spyware today. The playbook is out there. Which sets up the greatest mystery of all. How on earth did the CIA lose this massive, highly classified playbook?
Well, that brings us to the inside job, and to Joshua Schulte.
The entire Vault 7 leak circles back to this one man, Joshua Schulte. He was a 28-year-old software engineer working for the CIA who actually helped build these tools. Let's trace his timeline objectively here. He was hired by the CIA in 2010 at age 21. By 2016, something went wrong. But it wasn't some profound moral crisis about government surveillance. Actually, according to the facts of the case, it was a petty workplace dispute over a missed deadline. Inside the agency, he literally earned the nickname Drifting Deadline. So he files a complaint about management, it goes nowhere, and he resigns. But right before leaving, he used his administrator access to copy the entire archive. In 2017, the Vault 7 leak was published by WikiLeaks, and just recently in 2024, Schulte was sentenced to 40 years in federal prison.
Now let's talk about proliferation and where these tools are today.
Because look, sentencing the leaker to 40 years behind bars does absolutely nothing to delete the 8,761 documents sitting freely on WikiLeaks right now. The code is out there. And the scale of the agency's blind spot is honestly terrifying. Following the leak, an internal CIA review made this chilling admission. They wrote that if the tools had been stolen by a state adversary and never published publicly, we might still be unaware of the loss. They literally only discovered that their entire cyber arsenal was gone when WikiLeaks published it on the internet for the whole world to see.
And the risk of those documents being public is what experts call proliferation. To prove how dangerous this is, a solo security researcher down in Melbourne decided to read the Vault 7 documents. Working entirely alone, with no inside help, he recreated a fully functional version of the assassin implant just by reading the leaked architecture. He called his version Overwatch. This proves definitively that you don't even need the actual exploit code. Having the blueprints is enough to build CIA-grade malware.
So what's the playbook? Let's go over 4 actions you need to take.
Because these exact CIA techniques are now found in commercial spyware sold across 14 different countries, you really must take immediate action. Here is your playbook and 4 clear steps. Step 1. Check your smart TV's microphone and voice recognition settings right now. Turn off anything that isn't absolutely required. Step 2. Audit your Android phone. Look at which apps have SMS or notification access and revoke anything suspicious. Step 3. Open your Windows Task Manager and check your startup processes. If you don't recognize a file, search it. Remember, Assassin was built to look exactly like a normal system process. But step 4 is by far the most crucial. Go to WikiLeaks Vault 7 and read the tool documentation yourself. Understanding exactly what surveillance looks like from the inside, from the very engineers who built it, is your absolute best defense.
These documents are factual. They are public. And reading them completely changes how you view the devices you invite into your home. So I'm going to leave you with this stark, lingering question. Do you truly know what is running in your background right now?